Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. It's time for this week's news and features from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. Well, we've all waited for it, and now all eyes turn to the campus of the University of Iowa in Iowa City for the 2012 U.S. Olympic Team Trials. A record crowd is set to welcome the wrestlers at Carver Hawkeye Arena on both Saturday, April 21st, and Sunday, the 22nd. Now, the intensity of the Olympic trials is unmatched within wrestling. It's one of the greatest events of any Olympic sport. 18 weights will be contested, and fans are fired up about potential matchups that could take place on the weekend. The buzz over the last week has been more about which past stars will be competing and which well-known wrestlers would not. Two Olympic champions announced that they will not be coming to Iowa City, while two others confirmed that they will be there and ready to compete. Two other world-class athletes who have not competed in a number of years also announced to come back, and we'll talk about them because they'll be in Iowa City. Let's start now with who will not be competing. The first to announce that he would not compete was 2004 Olympic champion Cael Sanderson. After a 7-year absence from the mat, the Olympic great made a comeback in 2011. Sanderson made the 2011 U.S. World Team and placed 5th in the World Championships in Istanbul, Turkey. Now head coach of two-time NCAA champion Penn State Nittany Lions, Sanderson had not talked about his competition status. Recently, he told the Center Daily Times that his responsibilities as a parent and a coach outweighed his personal Olympic quest. Also announcing on the same day, 1996 Olympic champion Kurt Angle set out a tweet to his followers on Twitter that he would not be competing at the trials. Angle has been performing on TV but has not competed on the mat in some 16 years. Angle said that he was forced to withdraw from the event due to a hamstring and knee injuries. He indicated that a torn MCL was the final straw that ended his Olympic trials comeback. Angle will, however, continue with his next scheduled appearance in professional entertainment wrestling. Well, on the same day, the other two Olympic champions who have been training for Iowa City have reconfirmed that they will be there to compete. USA Wrestling's Craig Sesker had exclusive interviews with both of them about their training. They include 2008 Olympic champion Henry Cejudo, who told Sesker that he was in great shape and excited about the opportunity to attempt to make his second Olympic team. Let's go back to 2008 in Beijing, China. It was there that the 21-year-old Cejudo made history at the 2008 Olympic Games when he became the youngest Olympic wrestling champion for the U.S. After that, Cejudo took off 3 years from competition, but returned to the mat in New York City at the Beat the Streets Gala, defeating his Russian opponent. He has since won a gold medal at the Sunkissed Kids International and a silver medal at an international tournament in France. Cejudo told Sesker that he's healthy, in great shape, and ready to give an all-star great performance in Iowa City. Now, for history and perspective, only 3 American wrestlers have won 2 Olympic gold medals. They include George Medard in 1904 and 1908, Bruce Baumgartner did it in 84 and 92, and of course John Smith did it in 1988 and 1992. Well, 2000 Olympic champion and 2004 Olympic bronze medalist Rulon Gardner confirmed that he would indeed be in Iowa City and will seek a 3rd Olympic team berth of his own. Gardner's been in training at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. His biggest task has been getting his weight down to the limit of 264.5, and Gardner said that he was in striking distance of that weight, and he's expected to be on target and ready to wrestle in Iowa. Now, while Gardner addressed the media, 2 other retiring legends of the sport made comeback announcements of their own. They include 41-year-old Hall of Famer and 2005 world champion Dennis Hall. He's one of the greatest Greco-Roman stars of all time. The 132-pound star has announced his comeback for the trials. Now remember, Hall won a silver medal at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta and took 8th in the 1992 Olympic Games in Barcelona, Spain. Hall also competed at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, Greece. This weekend, wrestling fans will watch Dennis attempt to become the 3rd U.S. wrestler to make 4 Olympic teams. Now, if he's successful, he'll join freestyle legend Bruce Baumgartner and Greco-Roman wrestler Mark Fuller. Hall has remained active in coaching, doing a 1-year stint with the USOEC program at Northern Michigan, while working with many elite Greco-Roman athletes and developing their careers. Wrestling fans, let's take you back to 2004 right now, Indianapolis, Indiana. It was there that Dennis Hall and Brandon Paulson made Olympic trials history. The pair went back and forth in the finals and wrestled to overtime in a marathon match that Hall eventually won. Well, congratulations to Dennis. We'll see if he still got it. For sure, the Olympics one place to test your mettle. Well, the women's field will also have another legend competing. Making a comeback in women's freestyle is 33-year-old two-time world silver medalist Tina George, who plans to compete in her third Olympic trials event. Tina won silver medals in 2002 and 2003 and was a member of 7 U.S. world teams. In Indianapolis, George took second in the 2004 Olympic trials, losing by upset in the finals to Taylor O'Donnell in the championship series at 121 pounds. George was also fourth in the 2008 Olympic trials in Las Vegas. She's not competed in the last 4 years. Well, you can surely expect fireworks on the mat this weekend in Carver Hawkeye Arena as these veteran stars clash and compete with a well-stocked field of young talent. Well, last week we announced that 2011 World Team member Justin Ruiz would miss the Olympic trials to represent the U.S. at the upcoming World Olympic Games qualifying tournaments in late April and May at 211.5 pounds. Well, the U.S. has not yet qualified the 132-pound weight class in freestyle either. This week, Freestyle Team USA announced their decision as to who would be pulled out of the trials to attempt to qualify the weight. Reese Humphrey and Sean Bunch, last season's top 2 ranked athletes, will not be entered into the 2012 U.S. Olympic trials. Like Justin Ruiz and Greco, they too will prepare for the coming World Olympic Games qualifying tournament in late April and May as well. The next Olympic qualifying event takes place April 27th through the 29th in Taiwan, China. The top 3 at this event in each weight class qualify their nation for the Olympic competition. Should the U.S. still not qualify at 132 pounds in China, the U.S. will enter an athlete in the final Olympic qualifying event in Helsinki, Finland. That'll be May 4th through the 6th. A top 2 finish will be required there. Withholding Humphrey and Bunch from the U.S. Olympic team trials is permitted through the athlete selection procedures for the Olympic Games. While all of this movement and strategic planning means that the 132-pound winner in Iowa City at the trials does not secure a spot on the U.S. Olympic team. Well, not yet anyway. If the U.S. is able to get 132 pounds qualified for the Olympics, there will be a special wrestle-off set up to determine the Olympic team member at a later date. So cross your fingers for all athletes and we'll keep you posted. Well, for those of you that can't make it to Iowa City this weekend, you will be able to follow all of the action through NBC's media outlets. USA Wrestling will partner with NBCOlympics.com to provide a live webcast of all formats of the Challenge Tournament at the trials on both Saturday and Sunday, April 21st and 22nd, beginning at 9 a.m. Central each day. In addition, NBC Sports Network will present 6 hours of next-day coverage of the Olympic wrestling trials. Tune in Sunday, April 22nd for the first day of trials wrestling action from 3 to 6 Central on NBC Sports Network. The final day of action will be aired Monday, April 23rd from 2 to 5 Central. NBCOlympics.com will be the place where wrestling fans can log on to watch wrestling action on their computer. Fans, you can log on to NBCOlympics.com each day at 9 a.m. Central for preliminary, quarterfinal, semifinal, and challenge tournament final rounds. The approximate ending time of each session is 3 p.m. Central. To see the webcast, just go to NBCOlympics.com homepage, NBCOlympics.com as well. Now, each of the formats streamed will have live commentary provided by outstanding wrestling broadcasters, including USA Wrestling's own Jason Bryant, Van Stokes, The Open Mats, Willie Saylor, BadgerStateWrestling.com, Shane Spark, and Ben Hupke of Hupke Wrestling Promotions. Bryant, Sparks, and Hupke have all been named winners of the National Wrestling Media Association's Broadcaster of the Year Award. Stokes has been leading television broadcasts and webcasts for USA Wrestling now for the last 2 decades. Saylor was the 2012 NWMA Journalist of the Year. Well, the final sessions of the U.S. Olympic team trials for wrestling will not be available on the internet, but will be broadcast on a next-day tape delay basis on NBC Sports Network, with NBC's Andrew Catalan and 1984 Olympic Greco-Roman champion Jeff Blatnick providing the professional coverage. Check local listings for time and station in your area. USA Wrestling would like to thank NBC for choosing to broadcast our Olympic wrestling trials to the nation. Thanks to one and all. Well, the people of Iowa City are getting ready for the nation to arrive there for the trials. The community is taking great pride, as you might guess, in hosting the event, something which can be seen on the streets of the city. Last week, the city launched buses with a wrestling theme. Driving the streets of IC is a bus which is advertising the ASICS Fan Fest, which will be held downtown during the weekend of the trials. The wrestler displayed on the bus is none other than 2011 World Freestyle Champion Jordan Burroughs, one of the stars who will be competing on the mats in Carver Hawkeye. When was the last time you saw an Olympic wrestler pictured on a bus? That'll be a great weekend of wrestling for sure in Iowa City. Well, also added to the schedule in Iowa City alongside the Olympic trials is a social hosted by a new organization the Friends of Freestyle Alliance. This group will meet between sessions of the Olympic trials on Sunday, April 22nd at the College of Dentistry building right near Carver Hawkeye Arena starting at 3:30. This group, which includes alumni of Freestyle Team USA, leaders within wrestling and the general public, has set a goal of making USA Freestyle Wrestling Team the best in the world. Featured at the event, legendary coach Dan Gable, newly crowned Olympians, national freestyle coach Zeke Jones, and many others. Coach Zeke Jones talks about why this organization is so important.
You know, the Friends of Freestyle Alliance, it's really what we've did is decided to build an alliance of family, friends, and fans of the program. You know, we want to have a program that is inclusive of everyone in the United States, and you know, we really want to have a place where our national team alumni can come and be re-engaged again. You know, they're the backbones of the program. Dan Gable, Greg Olinsky, Bobby Douglas, Mike DeRoe, Bill Zadok, Tommy Rollins, Andy Rovat, those guys, that's what it's about. It's about those guys. It's about the people that marched on the mat for America.
Fans, stay tuned. There's plenty more coming up. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Both of these guys are explosive, and it's not over. This is going to be a great match.
Well, fans, last week we featured some interviews from athletes at their training locations preparing for the Olympic trials. Now, only days before the big event in Iowa City, we caught up with a few more. Penn State's head coach, Cale Sanderson, may not be competing, but some of his young Lions from the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club surely will. David Taylor won the NCAA championships this year at 165 pounds and was named the OW of the event, and then later awarded the Dan Hodge Trophy as the nation's best college wrestler. Taylor talked to us about competing in the trials.
I want to be on the Olympic team. I wouldn't be going to wrestle if I was going to get second. So I'm going, and I'm trying to gain experience, and I'd like to be going to London.
Ed Ruth was also a 2012 NCAA champion for Penn State at 174 pounds, and like Taylor, he joined the field in Iowa City as a wild card. Ruth gave his thoughts about competing at the trials.
Honestly, just so used to just basically doing a folk style, rolling over your back, and you can't really do that now, so it's like you have to change a lot of things, like you can't expose your back. So.
Quentin Wright, a 2011 NCAA champion for the Nittany Lions, won a junior world bronze medal for the U.S. in freestyle earlier in his career. Wright is also excited about going to Iowa City.
In freestyle, you don't have to have control of the guy in order to get points, so you just throw the guy and I get 3 points for it, and you get back on your feet and I get to try to do it again. Which in folk style, you got to stay on top of him, then you got to ride him out, and then so it's a totally different game plan.
Well, he earned a spot in Iowa City by reaching the finals of the final Olympic trials qualifier. Young Penn State star Matt Brown continues to make a name for himself.
I'm looking to go compete next week. I'm really excited to do that. I haven't seen the bracket yet, but I'm sure every draw is going to be tough. So.
Well, we also visited the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs to chat with some more athletes in their final days of prep. Moza Fay grew up in a small town in Iowa, was a collegiate star at the University of Northern Iowa. He returns home with the chance to make the Olympic freestyle team in front of a hometown crowd.
I've wrestled in Belarus, I've wrestled in Cuba, I wrestled, four corners of the United States, but I'm going back to Iowa, where I'm from, and just to feel a lot of love, coming back to that part and competing.
Well, R.C. Johnson is the reigning national champion at 211 pounds in Greco. He must win the Olympic trials, then hope the U.S. can qualify his weight class for the Olympics. He talks about the task ahead in Iowa City.
Everything kind of builds to this one tournament. Well, for most weight classes, not so much for mine this time around, but for the most part, just kind of builds to this one tournament, and everybody kind of puts their all into it, and then you go from there.
Chase Pammy was an NCAA runner-up for Cal Poly, then came to the Olympic Training Center to pursue his Olympic dream. He talks about the coming Olympic trials.
Oh, big expectations. No, I've been training hard, doing everything I need to do. Ready to go. Go out there, win it, and have a good time doing it.
Wynn Mihalik made the decision to wrestle in college instead of play football. Then he became a star at Central Michigan. Now he's a top Olympic hopeful in freestyle at 211 pounds.
We're working hard here. We've been working hard. We're starting to taper a little bit. And for the last 2 weeks, it just seems like we're waiting for it to come. It's been the slowest 2 weeks since I lived here. So
there are exactly 222 athletes who've qualified for the Olympic trials, and each of them have a unique story on the road to Iowa City. These athletes are the reason that the Olympic trials are such an exciting and memorable event for each and every one of us. Well, last week, the top wrestling event in the nation was the 2012 Men's FILA Junior National Championships in Madison, Wisconsin. The nation's best 17 to 20-year-old wrestlers came to compete in freestyle and Greco-Roman. There was a huge turnout, including star athletes from college and high school levels. The men's freestyle competition saw some outstanding action and a few big surprises. It was a great day for USA Wrestling's freestyle developmental program located at the U.S. Olympic Training Center. Coaches Brandon Slay and Bill Zadek had their young athletes ready to compete. 2 college-bound resident athletes from the developmental program won titles in a very loaded weight class. Iowa State-bound Destin McCauley captured the championship at 145 pounds when he pinned Ohio State's All-American Hunter Stieber in the finals. McCauley was a high school star in Minnesota who has been at the OTC all year. McCauley reached the final with a solid win over Indiana high school star Jason Surtzes, while Stieber beat NCAA runner-up Dylan Ness in his semifinal.
I knew it was going to be a good bracket. I saw everyone that was registered for it, and I just knew going into the tournament that I had to wrestle my style and my attacks, and if I did that, I should have been a winner on this.
Oregon State-bound Patrick Downey, who also spent the year at the training center, topped Minnesota All-American Logan Storley in the finals at 185 pounds. The score there, 1-0-0-2-3-2. Downey scored 3 points on a front headlock roll to win the third period. Downey, remember, was a junior nationals freestyle champion just this last summer.
I'm feeling great. Feeling like I've been training all year freestyle just for this. Come out here and get to the finals of Junior World Trials. Can't be happier.
Well, Blair Academy senior and Cornell-bound Mark Bray picked off Oklahoma Sooner Cody Brewer 5-3-3-1 to pick up the title at 132 pounds. Gray was 5th at the 2011 Junior World Championships at 121 pounds. Ohio State's Andrew Campolitano beat Minnesota's Scott Schiller in a battle of young college stars in the finals at 211 pounds. That score there, 1-0, 2-1. Tight margin indeed. Another big college showdown came at heavyweight when Oklahoma State's Austin Marsden topped Navy's Dan Miller 0-1, 1-1, 4-1 in the finals. Marsden, by the way, pulled out of redshirt late in the season due to an injury to Cowboy star Alan Galagayev. Miller placed 7th in the 2011 Junior World Championship. Division III champion Nazar Kolchinsky of UW Oshkosh won 2 ball draws and scored takedowns on each to top Iowa's Nick Moore at 163 pounds in one of the tournament's deepest weights. Virginia's Joey Dance beat Michigan's Connor Yautsy in 2 periods to claim the championship at 121 pounds. Dance won the Junior Nationals last year at 125 pounds. Colorado High School state champion Adrian Cordova captured the championship at 110 pounds with a big win over Antonio Juarez, 1-0, 1-1. Cordova is the stepson of Army freestyle athlete Angel Cejudo and the nephew of Olympic champion Henry Cejudo. In the non-Olympic weight classes, which are also held each year at this event, the individual champions include Steve Rodriguez of Illinois at 138 pounds, Justin DeAngelis of Oklahoma at 154 pounds, and Tyler Wilps of Pittsburgh at 174 pounds. The Greco-Roman competition was also very competitive, as you may guess. One of the nation's top young stars had a great performance there just 1 week before having the opportunity to compete in the Olympic trials. Isaiah Verona is set to graduate from South Dade High School in Homestead, Florida. Recently, he won an Olympic trials qualifying event to punch his ticket to Iowa City. He'll join former high school teammates Kendrick Sanders and Earl Hall there at the trials. A special coming together for those three young men. In the finals of the FILA Junior Greco Nationals, Verona topped Jake Bellis in the finals there, 3 periods, 1-0, 0-1, 3-0 at 121 pounds. Verona turned Bellis with a gut wrench 2 times and a closing second to seal his victory.
Definitely shocking. Really proud about it, and took a lot of hard work to get here. I'm here.
Well, it was a great weekend for Florida athletes as 2 other stars from the Sunshine State came home with gold. Florida native Nick Alvarez was the champion at 145 pounds, beating Wisconsin's Ryan Coakley 4-2, 6-4 in the finals. Florida's Jordan Spiethler claimed the title at 174 pounds, stopping Yes Wrestling's Terrence Zaleski 1-0, 5-0 for the title. It was also a strong performance for wrestlers from the USOEC program at Northern Michigan, 4 claimed titles. Alvarez is with the USOEC, as is Verona, who trains there in Greco-Roman on a regular basis. Joey DeNova, who like Verona will be competing in the trials this weekend, was the champion at 132 pounds. He defeated Jesse Williams of the USOEC 3-0, 1-0 in the finals. Marcus Finau defeated Army's Austin Schaefer in 3 periods to win the title at 211 pounds. Finau also heads to Iowa City for the trials. He won his 2nd straight FILA Junior Nationals title this year and was also a FILA Junior World Team member last year. California native and current Indiana Hoosier Lucas Sheridan was named the OW after his dominant 7-1, 2-0 win over Maryland's Anthony Gardner at 185 pounds. That one in the finals. Adam Kuhn of Michigan, a FILA Cadet World Champion in freestyle last year, claimed a FILA Junior National title this year, only this time at 264 pounds. He defeated USOEC star Parker Betts in the championship finals 1-0, 8-4. Meanwhile, Caleb Smith was the champion at 163 pounds with a clutch 3-period victory over Eric Fajardo of the New York Athletic Club. The score there 2-0, 0-6, 3-1. Bobby Nachreiner of the Askren Wrestling Academy won the title at 110 pounds, a weight class contested at the Junior World Championships. Nachreiner beat Ramon Marino of the USOEC in the finals 2-2, 6-3. Other individual champions were Tyler Fraley of the Shamrock Wrestling Club at 138 pounds. Brad Dolezal of the Minnesota Storm at 170 pounds won as well.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, at the same time, last weekend in Crawfordsville, Indiana, another outstanding event was underway. The National Wrestling Coaches Association USA Wrestling National Scholastic Duels. This event featured 18 state-level teams featuring many of the nation's best high school underclassmen. Indiana Gold had a nice run in the middleweights, but Illinois Navy won 6 of the last 7 bouts in the upper weights to claim the title. Included in this great closing performance was a pin by Blake Blair at 195 pounds and a major decision by Brian Allen at heavyweight. Team Kentucky had a very strong performance, finishing in 3rd place, winning 3 of its 5 gold pool matches. Kentucky was led by its undefeated 113-pound star Brock Irvin, who received the meet's most outstanding Wrestler Award. Also winning their way into the championship pool, Team Indiana Blue finished in 4th place, followed by Virginia in 5th and Colorado in 6th. Team Colorado won the National Scholastic Dual Sportsmanship Award. This competition continues to grow in size and prestige. Congratulations to all the competitors who put it all on the line in Indiana. Well, another big attraction on the weekend of the trials is the annual Dream Team Wrestling Classic. The format will feature the top Iowa high school seniors against some of the best wrestlers from around the U.S. 2011 Junior World Team member Mark Gray of New Jersey is scheduled to wrestle at 132 pounds. Gray, a Cornell recruit from Blair Academy, is slated to face Iowa State recruit Dakota Bauer. Top-ranked Jason Sursis of Indiana, a junior nationals champion and Northwestern recruit, will compete against Urbandale's Gabriel Marino at 145 pounds. Marino was an Iowa State recruit. Washington's top-ranked Jordan Rogers is an Oklahoma State recruit and scheduled to compete at 182 pounds. University of Iowa recruits Corey Clark, Alex Meyer, and Nate Skozinski are among the stars on the card as well. Now remember, tickets for the Dream Team Classic are $10 a piece. There will be a live webcast of the duel on themat.tv. We'll report on the event and the results next week on this program. Well, that'll do it for this week's show. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us each and every week. For all of us at USA Wrestling Weekly, I'm Scott Casper. Good night.